What clients say about your products will greatly influence the prospect's expectation of your products. This is important because when it comes to selling, the what people say about your product or service is what they use to help them cross the chasm of indecision a lot of times. That's why we're going to be looking at using compelling stories to close deals today. My name is Iyore. I've trained over 25,000 salespeople across 5 countries: Nigeria, Ghana, USA, UAE, Rwanda. I'm an author of several books and resources on sales, and I've been featured on lots of media platforms to talk about successful selling. I worked in an organization where I was given a target to sell to 20 high net worth individuals, and I was able to bring in 21 high net worth individuals in a single month. I also participated in a sales competition where I won, and I was sent for the World Cup for an all-expense paid trip. I also moved to another organization where I was able to double my portfolio by over 100% in just 11 months. I'm currently the CEO for Ultravantage, and our specialties in Salesforce management, when we work with sales teams to help them optimize their results and help them exceed their sales targets in record time. This also means that we know how to prospect perfectly, and that's why in today's Sales Prospecting Masterclass Part 10, we're going to be looking at closing deals with compelling stories. Now, what prospects say about your products go a long way to influence their perception of your products, and that's why you should know how to tell the stories of people's experiences with your products or service. Let me just get my notes here. Now, in today's session, we're going to look at 3 parts. We're going to look at number 1, the benefits of customer success stories. Number 2, how to craft compelling stories and how to use them in a sales conversation. Then number 3, we'll discuss how to find and utilize customer success stories. Let's start with the first part. What are the benefits of customer success stories? There are just three basic or major benefits I can think of now. Number 1, it gives increased credibility and trust. Sometimes, you see, people do business with you if they know you, they like you, and they trust you. And in some cases, a lot of marketing hasn't been done by the organization, or the marketing hasn't been done enough. Some things have been done, but not enough. There's a difference between meeting a prospect and the prospect says, "Oh, I know your company. Yeah, I've been seeing your ads. Oh, I heard about the fact that you're the one that helps Mr. Jegede, you're the one that helps Mr. Inamdi, you're the one that helps Mr. Shehu over there. Oh, I've heard about your company." That is a different kind of sale. Marketing has done its job. The news has gone out. So selling will be easy. But when somebody meets you and the person is wondering, "I don't know you. You're the one that called me to want to do business with me." Okay, they're wondering, there's this level of doubt. They're wondering, why should I do business with you? Why should I even trust you? How am I sure that you're credible? Look at what happened in Lagos, Nigeria, where some properties collapsed at a point. Those in the real estate sector, you can imagine what they were going through just after that, or even maybe up to now. When they meet prospects now, they're wondering, do I want to do off-plan? How am I sure this property is being built the right way? All these kind of uncertainties and doubts make it very difficult for salespeople to sell. One of the ways you can establish credibility and trust so that you can cross this chasm of indecision making is making sure that you share compelling stories. And that's why we said it increases your credibility and it increases your trust. Another thing, second thing, benefit of sharing customer success stories is that it gives the emotional connection with prospects. It brings that emotional connection with prospects. Imagine if you're telling your story. Imagine if you're doing a presentation. And while you're doing your presentation, of course, you probably introduce yourself. You can do a short 30-second story about why you're in this organization and why you're doing what you do, why this organization matters to you, and you make that emotional connection. Of course, there are things you may say in your story. You may talk about the fact that maybe your background, what you studied in school, the school you went to, all those things can make a connection with those who you're presenting to. So the power of telling stories when it is to build emotional connection with prospects. And of course, when that emotional connection is built, rapport too can be built as well with those prospects, especially when you're having sales presentations. The third benefit of sharing customer success stories is social proof. Social proof means the moment people who you respect or people who you admire or people like you are doing a particular thing, you find out that you feel compelled to want to do the same thing. Some other word for it is called the bandwagon effect. For example, when you go to the ATM and maybe an ATM gallery and you notice that there are 5 ATM machines. However, on a particular machine, there's a queue of maybe 5 to 7 people. you most likely will be compelled to not even check the other 4 machines that are there, because there are 5, but there's a queue on one of the machines. You may not even check the other 4 machines to see if it's working to use your debit card. You'll probably just go straight. That's when we used to use the debit card. I don't know how often we go to ATM machines today. You probably just go straight to that first machine with 7 people on the queue and join the queue. You become the 8th person. That's what social proof is like. This means that if you share enough stories, if you share 3 stories, that prospect will be the 4th person. You share 4 stories, that prospect could be the 5th person, just like you were the 7th person on that row of the queue to the ATM machine. So it gives social proof. So 3 major benefits of sharing customer success stories. Now, let's look at how to craft compelling customer success stories. How do we craft stories so that we can be able to close deals in record time when we go about our prospecting? First things first, please, when you're sharing a customer success story is not about how it helps you, right? And that's why the first thing is that when you're sharing your customer success stories, highlight the benefits and the value. Don't make a mistake of sharing a customer success story and you end it by saying, after he did business with us, he was so happy that he gave me 5 other referrals. And that was how I was able to meet my sales targets. You can't talk like that. That's not a customer success story, because you're not highlighting the benefits and the value. Whereas if you're if you're mentioning specific products or services or specific, now we see features tell, benefits sell. Features talk about what your product can do for the prospects. Features talk about what your product has, please. Oh, our product, it has 3 layers of authentication. This particular product, it has extra security. This particular product, it uses only one password. Whatever it is, mention the features when you sell, then you mention the benefits. How does this particular feature is mentioned apply to this person? It has 3 levels of authentication, feature, benefits. This means that for no reason can anybody hack into your account. If, for example, you forgot your password or somebody had access to your password details, no matter how hard they try, they will have to go through 3 levels, which will save you time, save you money, and save you the cost. What are you talking about now? You're talking about the benefits. So when you're now bringing this into a story, make sure that when you're telling the story, you talk about how the prospect or the customer, rather, who is now the client, the customer or the client, during the process of the working of their testimony or of what happened to them or of their success story, this is the particular feature and benefits that they enjoyed that made the outcome positive or made the miracle or testimony happen, just to drive it home that way. So make sure that you highlight the benefits while you speak. The second thing you want to do is use specific numbers and metrics. Mention the numbers. Don't just say things like, he got into our software and he was able to, because of the 3-factor authentication, he was attacked, or his details, his card was stolen, or his password was accessed, and it was used to try to access his accounts. But for some reason, they couldn't go in. Now, question, what numbers and metrics are there? What numbers and metrics are there? The numbers and metrics could be that if they had accessed his accounts, he would have lost as much as 500 million that day, but we saved him 500 million naira. That's the number. That's the metrics. Imagine if you're selling real estate and you're sharing a success story and you want to bring numbers into it, and the person said, oh, his budget for this investment, he was actually looking at a house of 300 million. But thank God, because of our thoroughness and experience in the industry, we actually was giving him the same house for 250 million. We saved him 50 million naira. You see that? So you bring about the numbers and the metrics in the story. Then the third point, identify the key elements of this story. Now, I took it backwards, right? You may want to start with the key elements, because with the key elements, that would help you guide you into the story. But just listen to me first. Identify the key elements of this story. When we say the key elements, we're saying, what was the challenge? What was the solution? What was the results? So in other words, key elements, the challenge, solution, results. So we talk about the challenge, we talk about the solution, which I said you would use features and benefits to communicate it. You talk about the results, which I said you will use numbers to pass the points. So without features and benefits in your stories. And without numbers, your story will not be compelling enough to move the prospect to close towards the deal. Now, how do you identify the challenges? Simple. What was the state of these prospects before they came across your product or service? What is the before and the after? Sometimes you hear testimonies of people who said, oh, this was my situation before I came to this church. This was my situation after. So everybody has stories of before and after. We all know what before and after means. Let's even take it a little secular. You look at an advert. Somebody is working out in the gym, and the instructor is saying, our gym therapy or our gym process works. And you see somebody with a pot belly. You see before. Then you see after. Tummy was flat. So what was the challenge? I was overweight. I had low energy levels. I had low self-esteem. I couldn't play with my kids. I was not inspired. Challenges. What was the solution? They came on a gym therapy, on a gym or exercise therapy. What are the benefits of this exercise therapy, or features and benefits? We give you 3 days of exercise in a week, which doesn't allow you or make you require to come to the gym every day. The benefit of this is that it helped the clients still focus on his work and not get overwhelmed with exercising, which led to him getting excited about coming to the gym every day. What was the result? He was 500 kg, he dropped to 300 kg. This made him very excited, very happy, and this changed the way he was doing his business forever. Do you see that now? So you looked at it from challenge, we moved into solution, then we moved into the results. Remember, you look at what the problem was before, you look at the solution, which is you must mention the benefits, features and benefits of your products, because that's most likely the one that this prospect will jump into. Then you now look at the results, which is the numbers, the figures, what exactly happened. Now, please don't forget that when you're sharing stories, think of the fact that if somebody was telling you a story and there was no emotion into it, it will not be exciting enough. If somebody was telling you a story and you didn't zoom into the story, see, don't tell the story as if you were watching the person from the outside. Tell the story like you were a part of the testimony. You were part of the people that made the miracle happen. So instead of saying, so he went to the gym and he discovered, rather you would say, when he came to the gym, he said he wanted to, and I thought in my heart, I don't think this is going to work. Nevertheless, we decided to trust him and give him, bring yourself into the story. Don't tell the story as if you're watching from the outside. Zoom in. Tell the story like you're inside it. And you can use your emotions to drive it home. Imagine somebody telling a story and instead of the person saying, I was at the customs office, for example, just imagine this. I got to the customs office, and when I got into the customs office, they realized that I was the brother to the president. And of course, the man was shocked. He stamped my passport because of that, and he allowed me pass freely. What about telling it this way? So imagine he asked me, who are you? I mentioned my name, and I was wondering why he's asking me my name. Nevertheless, I mentioned my name. When he discovered I was the president's daughter, I said, are you the president's son? I said, yes. He said, what? Are you serious? And he allowed me pass. So you see, without saying too much, I had already demonstrated it to my emotion, with my expressions, to pass the message across. All I'm trying to say to you, ladies and gentlemen, is that when you share compelling stories, bring your emotions in. Flow with the story. Think of, tell your story like you're trying to tell a little child. Don't communicate your story as if you're trying to be prim and proper, you want to communicate to an adult. Get to the level where you feel like you're trying to communicate it to a child. Bring the emotion in. When you talk about the challenge, let your facial expression show that truly things were hard, things were tough for this person. When you get to the solution, then you light up a little bit. Then when you get to the results, to a crescendo, you're excited. So think of our movies too. When you look at movies where people are going through a lot and all of a sudden things turn around. You see the before and the after. Then finally, where can you find customer success? Okay, number 3, I said using customer success stories. Okay, now of course I've explained how to use them in sales conversations, right? I've explained that. Then number 3, finally, where can you find and utilize customer success stories? Where can you find them? Every time someone does business with you, ladies and gentlemen, follow up for customer success stories, or we call it testimonials. Follow up for testimonials. Because most times, people don't just come and give you testimonials. Why do we follow up? See, one of the benefits of follow-up is the fact that we can close deals. It's also the fact that even after closing, when we follow up, we build relationships, or we call it relationship management. Relationship management gives you the opportunity to key into the opportunities to hear success stories. Do you believe your product works? If you believe it works, this means that you will constantly be looking out for the results of people using your product or service. Now, for this to happen, you must keep accurate records. You must use your CRM or your Excel sheet, whatever it is you use to keep data, keep records. So you can note down, this person I bought, he started using this product or service. We are most likely to see some benefits in a month or in 2 months, so you can keep set reminders and track to get success stories. As time goes on, secondly, as time goes on, you want to also divide your success stories into industries. You want to have success stories for people in the pharmaceutical sector, the banking sector, the entertainment industry, so that when you meet a prospect in a particular industry who is, for example, you meet a prospect in the financial sector and you're selling properties, why don't you have testimonials of people who have done business with you from the financial sector, so that when you share the success stories, they can relate with you. They can relate with that particular person and see that if this person bought this product or service, this thing is going to work for me. Finally, make sure that you have at least 3 success stories. 3. 1 may not be enough. Because imagine if you got to the ATM and it was, you got to the example I gave of the ATM gallery. You got to the first machine and there was only 1 person there. You may not join the queue because there's only 1 person. You will test another one. If it was only 2, you may think they are together. You may not even join the queue. You test another one. But if you see 3 people queued, at least you may feel, you most likely want to queue. If you see 4, 5, you most likely would increase your conviction. It will increase your conviction on why you should go and queue and not test another ATM machine. What am I trying to tell you? The more people on that queue, meaning the more success stories you have, the more persuasive and the more compelling you can be to be able to close deals. You can share success stories at any point in the conversation. These 3 stories. You can share them at the beginning, you can share them at the middle, or you can share them at the end. Just make sure that you plan in such a way that maybe you share 1 story at the beginning of the conversation, 1 success story at the middle, 1 success story at the end, or you share the 3 at the beginning, or 3 at the middle, or 3 at the end. Just bring it into the conversation to drive home your points and use it to close deals. If objections arise, you can use success stories to trump objections as well. All right, thanks so much for watching today's video. If you haven't watched this video, please watch it. Thank you so much for watching again. Remember to like, share this video with others if you haven't shared. If you want us to work with you, our details are in the description below. Send us an email. Work with your sales team and help them close deals in record time. Talk to you soon. See you in the next video.